Hey everybody, welcome to Journey Through the Generations. This is day 8 recap of relative race, and today is a big day. It is win or not coming last for 3 teams because they have 2 strikes and they're going home if they come in last place. Team green, blue, and black.
Yes, that is correct. And it kind of, first of all, it's episode 8 of 10. So we're getting closer to the end. So that makes me sad. And then 3 teams having 2 strikes. And that means that 1 team could possibly go home. That makes me sad. So this was, it was actually a really good episode, but it had a lot, build up to it.
Yeah, and you can tell throughout the episode that it was a lot of pressure on all the teams.
Right.
Because people going home if they don't do something.
Right.
So,
and even though it's, day 8 and technically there's only 1 day left to actually meet a relative on day 9, because day 10 is the final competition to see who wins the $50,000. So the upside is that all of the teams, which I don't think this has ever happened before, having all 4 teams to day 9, but at least all the teams will get to meet all of the relatives in the race.
Yeah, and that's the good part about it, that everybody gets to meet, all of their relatives in the process of this game. So that's a real good thing. So of course, like every episode, it starts off with the contestants meeting with their family in the morning, just spending time with them. This time, both green and black gave their family gifts. It was their mothers,
because they both met their moms the day episode before. So Casey Team Black showed her mom the pictures from throughout the race so far, and Monica from Team Green showed her mom pictures of her childhood. So that was really nice for her to show her mom that she had a really good life. Her parents were really good people, and ultimately she did make the right decision because she grew up in a loving home.
Yep. So that all went on, and they showed all of that for all 4 teams. And, of course, it's time for Dan's text.
Yes.
And so everybody got to text for which city that they're going to. And so, Trisha, what was the times in the for each team?
The time for the blue team was 1 hour and 27 minutes. The green team was 2 hours and 30 minutes. The red team was 3 hours and 8 minutes. And the black team had the longest time of 3 hours and 32 minutes.
Yeah, so everybody got on the road and it was time to go. It's day 8. Let's go.
And I think it's interesting that Team Blue, the twins, are still in Florida. It seems like they've been in Florida this whole race.
Just about, but all their family.
I mean, yeah, I guess true.
From down there. And I think they have some Cuban background, which that is where a lot of Cubans end up. So
that's true.
That makes sense. But on the road, we got a little chance to see some personality, some fun personality from Monica and Megan and Casey and Sean.
That is true. The green team, they pulled out their, what did they call it? Their spirit.
I don't know. All I know is the little headbands with the green things.
And the little hand, the styrofoam hand.
Yeah, you see at sports games.
Yeah.
I'm number 1.
That was too cute because she had it. She had her hand out the window with the little styrofoam hand on it, but she had to hold the bottom so it didn't fly out. So yeah, I thought that was real cute.
Yep, and then Casey and Sean were singing, which I bet you they do all the time.
I think they do. I don't think they probably listen to the radio like we do.
That's their life.
Yeah, they're singers.
But the fun part about it was, Casey made up a song because they were going to Nashville, Tennessee. So she made up her own little country song.
Right. She did a pretty good little song there.
Yep. So that was really good. And then of course because Devin and Liz won day 7, their benefit was a 5-minute phone call with anybody that they wanted to, and of course they chose their kids.
Yeah, they have 2 little boys, and they were able to video chat with them and just check in with them. They look to be pretty young. I would say they were both under 3.
Yeah,
3 and under.
2 and 4.
Okay. So yeah, they're really young, really cute boys too. So I'm sure that helped them to know that they're doing well and to see them, because I can only imagine being away from our son for that long when he was that young.
Yeah, when he was that young. Now he's 18.
He don't want to be bothered with us anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yep. So yeah, they stopped at looks like some restaurant or something and sat in the car and talked with them. And of course, just in case you were wondering, their clock did stop for the 5 minutes that they were on the video call, so that didn't go count against them and their time. So that was good. Anything else? Yeah.
No, I just think that it was interesting that Team Blue, the twins, started, recapping about how the other 3 teams have met a parent.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that has a lot to do with, them wanting to meet their mom.
Oh, yeah.
But even though they haven't, they were really happy for the other teams to be able to make that connection with their parent. And they seemed to be, really happy for them, and just knew just how much that, ultimately not only changed, the team's life, but their parent that they just met as well.
Well, you can definitely tell they are like feeling the desire, the pressure to meet their mother.
Right, yeah.
And it's not jealousy. It's like, other people met their parents. They haven't met theirs yet.
It gives them hope,
so I think they were getting to a place it's day 8. It's pretty close to being over. And I think they felt like, well, if they lose today and they go home and their mother is not there today, are they going to ever get a chance to meet her?
Yeah.
Or anything? And I don't know. Maybe they mentioned it in past episodes and I just don't remember. But I kind of started feeling that maybe she wasn't alive anymore. Do you remember that?
I don't think that I got that impression, because nobody has ever talked about her in past tense. They always say true. She still to this day hasn't gotten over losing you guys, or you guys being taken away from her. So I think maybe she might be like in a mental hospital or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know for sure, and I hope that they get to meet them. But they've met enough people that know her that I feel like even if they don't meet her on the show, they'll have the opportunity after the show to be able to meet her, because she may not want to, be on the show.
That's true. She may not. She may have told Relative Race that, hey,
I'm not interested in this.
I'm not trying to do no TV show.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and kind of see what happens.
Yeah,
but
I think everybody they've met knows her.
Yeah.
And especially their brother that they just met last week. He lived with her for like 5 years. So. And
they've already met one of her sisters. So anyway, yeah, I hope that works out for them. So, of course, everybody's going to Philadelphia. Team Red is going to Philadelphia. Yes. Everybody's going to their cities, get their city selfies, and then on to the challenge.
Yes.
And so the challenge for today was called Fuzzy Photo. And so basically they would show on the screen a picture that was fuzzy, is really blurry. And you had, I think, 5 seconds to choose or...
You had to do 5. Get 5 correct. I don't know if they put a time limit on it.
There was a time limit.
There was. I don't know if they said what it was, but
I thought it said 5 seconds. Okay. But anyway, I could be wrong. So anyway, they had to come up with what the picture was, and if they got it wrong or they ran out of time, they had to use some of the props for their next guests. And
yes,
so
that would
was
hinder
difficult.
their vision even further.
Yeah.
So they had to use like binoculars, some kind of prism glasses. They had to put a horse head on was one of them. So then if you got it wrong, then you had to put one of these props on that made it even harder to see, basically.
Yeah. And one of the props for the next one was binoculars. And Sean was like, oh, I put it up backwards so you can see it.
That's smart.
Pretty good. And that's smart.
That's smart. They got it.
Did the rules say they couldn't use it?
It
like
just said
that?
use it. It didn't say you have to use it correctly.
I feel like those same people who were on
About that
Facebook
picture.
fans of Relative Race Facebook group are gonna complain about
He used it wrong.
him using them wrong, like they did the snapshot
of the directions.
turn by turn directions. So don't do that.
Hey,
just don't do that.
I think I would have actually done well at this challenge because I did get quite a few of them right. So I think that I, did pretty good at this challenge. So the fact that he was able to use the prop and I didn't have to use any of the props and he had to, and he was able to use them to his advantage, that's part of the game.
Yeah. And it seemed like all four teams had, issues with guessing the photos.
Yeah, except for Team Blue. Team Blue seemed to just randomly spurt out names and objects, and it was right. They didn't have any rhyme or reason to it, but they didn't look like they had very many issues.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, I thought it was a fun game. They didn't have to be moving around.
It wasn't out in the hot. It
physical.
wasn't out in the hot sun.
Yeah, just sit down and get some pictures.
Yeah. So it was good TV to see them. And they showed what the pictures looked like through the object that they had, the prop that they had to use.
Yeah.
So we were able to see kind of what they see through their, prism glasses or, the horse head or whatever. So that was interesting.
Yeah. So everybody finished the challenge and got their relatives' address. And it was time to go meet relatives. So I think... I don't know if everybody didn't have big issues with navigating. I think Team Black and Team Red had the worst time navigating, and I think it's the pressure
of the day,
right? Because you saw little spats and arguments in previous days. But this one was more back and forth, talking at the same time. Casey getting mad at Sean, and
right. And they usually sing out of it.
And Liz and Devin was just lost all the way around.
I guess they used to live
near
close by, or out in the suburbs of Philadelphia. So at first, I think they felt like they knew how to get there, and they didn't really need to map it out. But they should have mapped it out.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia is a big city, and I would imagine that you don't know every part of it. We live in a small town and don't know, a large. No, I know a large part, but
I do not.
There's still parts of our city that I don't know because I don't go over there. So anyway, So I just felt like all the teams, was letting the pressure get to them.
Yeah.
Instead of calming down and getting through it.
I agree. And one of the things that I noticed is, I don't know if it was edited this way or if they really aren't using the little fancy compass GPS thing as much as they were in the beginning, or they're just not talking about it. But it just seems like they're not utilizing that as much as they were in the earlier episodes.
Yeah. I don't know how much it would have helped, Liz and Devin, because it looked like they was driving around in circles. But
yeah.
And they said they were in or near downtown Philadelphia,
which I can only imagine.
And the downtowns of big cities are not easy to navigate.
No, and it looked like they had a bunch of, one-way streets. Everywhere you went was a one-way street, so they couldn't turn around. And a bunch of alleys.
Yep, cars parked on the road, I would be frustrated too.
Yeah.
Driving through that.
Yeah, because when they finally did get to the relative's house, it's like they parked like 2 blocks away and had to like walk through the neighborhood to get to the house.
Yeah, I don't know. That just seemed kind of odd. I hadn't seen that kind of
logistics.
Yeah, before. It seemed like maybe, relative race maybe would have picked getting an Airbnb or something.
Yeah, because I feel like they've done that before.
Because it's.
I feel like they've done that before. Yeah, but that's part of the game. Yep. So ultimately, all 4 teams did find their relatives.
Yes, they did. So in the order that they showed it on the episode tonight, the first one to meet their relatives was Team Blue, and the twins met their other aunt, Bobby.
Right, their mom's sister.
Their mother's sister. And so I think they maybe thought that was their mom at first.
I think when they first drove up, because she was standing out there waiting on them, that they did think that was their mom. Mm-hmm. So,
well, they look,
they did. Pretty much. I mean, she did look a lot like the pictures that they have seen.
Yeah.
Because the pictures are a little older. But yeah, it was their aunt.
So they got a chance to sit down and get a lot of answers to questions that they had about their childhood, their adoption, and I can never remember the twins' names. Which one is which? Joseph?
The driver is Anthony.
Anthony, okay. So Joseph had questions about his cerebral palsy. Was it caused, by child abuse or an accident, or was it just a birth, kind of a, what they call
labor issue?
Yeah. So a birth defect. So, I don't, he was able to get answers to that. Even though Aunt Bobby didn't know exactly, but she felt like that their mom would never do anything like that, to her kids.
Right.
And so, we don't know her, so we just got to take Aunt Bobby's word for it at this point. So, but yeah, they were able to get answers, and they felt better about it.
Yeah, and again, they keep hearing the same story that your mom wanted you. Aunt Bobby was able to tell them that she brought the twins home from the hospital, and she didn't have a lot of money. She wasn't well off. She had mental issues, and basically the state took over and decided that since the boys were ill and were premature and were still sick when they got home from the hospital, that it was better that she placed them for adoption to be able to have someone else be able to take care of them because of their medical issues that they would need.
Yeah. So good for them. I'm glad they're able to get some more answers. Mm-hmm. And even though it wasn't their mother, they still got a close relative. So they were definitely happy to see each other.
Yes, they keep getting pieces of the puzzle every week. So that's always good.
Yep. Who's next?
Team Green. Monica met her first cousin, David, on her dad's side. I think it was her dad's side.
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was her dad's side. And what was interesting is that he actually didn't know that much about that side of his family. And she was able to tell him about the people that she's met on this journey that are now his cousins and that are his family. Yeah,
so that's good for him to learn. He basically got a whole nother part of his family in one day.
In one day, yeah.
So that's good for him. The next team was Team Black, Casey and Sean, and they walked up to the guy and said, "Whose relatives are you?" And he said, "Casey, I'm Sean's."
I'm Sean's relative.
And I think we just got accustomed to everybody being Casey's relative. They were able to throw Sean, in there and get him involved and meet some of his family.
Which I thought was really nice because, we've learned a lot about Casey during this show. And so it was interesting to find out more about Sean and his childhood. And he told us that his father actually passed away while serving in the military when he was 4 years old. So he actually didn't grow up with his father. So to be able to meet somebody on his father's side, he said it was really special.
The thing I'll say about Sean that I learned about him is that he's lived in some of the most beautiful places in this country.
That is true.
Because I've been there. He was born. Was he born in San Diego?
Yeah, on the military
Army
base. Yeah,
or not Army base, but whatever
the naval base. I think it's a naval base.
Yeah, I don't know
the military base.
But anyway, so he would live there. I'm jealous. San Diego is one of my favorite places, and can't wait to go back. And then he lived in Monterey, California, which I've been to for work. And I spent like a week and a half there for work, working a golf tournament. And that's where Pebble Beach is, and Del Monte Golf Course. And it is just the most beautiful place. I just want to go back. It's expensive, but I want to, I want to go back. So anyway, not really a part of Relative Race, but made me jealous.
Another good thing about Sean's visit was he was able to see pictures of his great grandparents, which I love old pictures. I love pictures, family pictures. And his cousin brought out the great grandfather's obituary, which I'm a fan of obituaries, family pictures, things like that. So that really made me happy.
Yep. And then there's the last team was Team Red. And who did Liz meet?
Liz met her sister, Jennifer. So Liz, this is her father's, on her father's side. So she has met the entire family of her father's side. She met her father and her 3 siblings. And so this one just rounded out the completion of her meeting that family member. And she was excited to know that she only lives like an hour and a half away from her. So they've already planned, how they're going to get together on a regular basis.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And Liz was, understandably
very emotional
about it because she lived just an hour or so away this whole time. And I kind of know. I've kind of had that same thing happen to me in my discovery, even though these folks aren't alive. But still, in my discovery of my family, I found family that's buried in the cemetery I've been driving past for 25, 26 years.
This is true.
And never knew.
You just never know.
But yeah, when I saw Jennifer, at first I was like, it can't be her sister because, right off the bat, they didn't look alike to me. Just a quick look. Plus, she ran to Liz, so I didn't really get a great look. But then when everything kind of settled in, I was like, okay, I see the cheeks. It's the cheeks.
You can see it.
I did. So anyway, of course, everybody was happy to meet their family. They got a chance to sit down and talk and do all those kinds of things. So now everybody got to talk to Dan.
Yes, the video call with Dan is always interesting.
Yes.
So, especially tonight, because again, I know we keep saying this, but 3 teams have 2 strikes. And so will this be the last time that we have a video chat with all 4 teams?
Man, I tell you, I'm just glad that all 4 teams made it this far.
Yes.
Because it could have easily gone the other way when there would be like 2 teams left.
Right. And again, I don't think this has ever happened. I know 4 teams haven't made it to day 9 before, but I don't think 4 teams have made it to day 8. I'm going to go back and look and see.
Well, I don't think it's really possible that all 4 teams can make it mathematically to day 10, but...
No, but I don't think 4 teams have gotten this far. That's what I'm saying.
This day 8, yeah. You said day 10, I think.
Oh, I meant 8.
Anyway.
Okay.
Everybody knows what you're talking about. So, all right. So here are the results for the day. So the big winner for day 8 was Team Green.
Yes, Team green.
And they said that they were going to get first place.
They did. They said at the beginning of the show, when we are focused, we're going to do this. They had their spirit stuff on, and they won. And they came in 2 minutes under their time.
Yeah. And so their benefit for day 9 is a challenge benefit that we don't know the specifics of yet.
They don't either.
We'll learn it next Sunday during the day 9 episode. And in the past, when they've done this, it's been like everybody else had to do, the regular number of times, but the team who won that benefit had to do it with the easier,
right?
Whatever it is, they had easier rules to,
like a closer goal, or if they have to walk across like the little ledge thing or whatever, theirs isn't as high as everybody else. Stuff like that.
Yeah, and so the team that came in second place is
13 minutes over their time was Team Black.
So good for them.
Yes.
I'm so glad. That's 2 teams that had 2 strikes.
Yes.
They're good for
that
day 9.
Safe.
They
can relax.
They can relax for now.
Yes. And then get a good night's sleep.
Yep. And so now it came down to Team Blue, which has 2 strikes, and Team Red that only has 1 strike.
Yes.
And Team Red is coming off 2 wins in a row.
Yes.
So the momentum is swung their way.
Yeah.
But the team that came in third place was Team Blue.
Yes. 14 minutes over, which means Team Red got a strike.
And nobody went home.
Nobody went home. Team Red, that Philadelphia just did not do them well. They came in 41 minutes over. They were not shocked by the fact that they got 4th place. But again, nobody went home. And virtually, this is, everybody's even again. Everybody has 2 strikes. And everybody gets to meet their final relative. Yeah,
that drive to their parents' house, to their relatives' house, just killed them.
It did.
That was just too much for them to
because they did really
overcome.
well on the challenge. It had to be the drive.
Yeah, in order for them to have become in third place,
that far
somebody
behind.
else would have had to have just as hard a time.
Traffic, weather, something.
Yeah.
And nobody had any of that. So, but again, like I said, everybody gets to go to day 9. Everybody gets to meet their final relative. Everybody's even. They all have the same amount of strikes. So I think it's going to be a very interesting day 9.
Yeah, day 9 is going to be even more pressure
for all of them.
Now for all 4 teams, because somebody is going home regardless.
Yeah.
And 3 other teams will be guaranteed, of course, to day 10 to participate.
Fight for the money.
But the good thing is that everybody will get a chance to meet all 9 of their relatives.
Yes. And I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look at all day 9 episodes of the last 6 episode seasons. And I'm going to get back with y'all and see if this is the first time this has ever happened. That's my homework this week. So
good episode. As always, really always good to see everybody meet their families. So
everybody's always so happy, and the fact that they got a strike, Team Red, but she got to meet her sister, she was all right with it. I think.
So congratulations to Team Green, Black, and Blue for not getting a strike and going home. And we need Team Red to pick it up because that was our team we were rooting for. So anyway, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day 8 recap of Relative Race. We're very happy that you were able to join us. If you enjoyed this episode and what we're doing on Journey Through the Generations, please subscribe. You can listen to our podcast on your favorite platform that you use to listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. And just tell your friends and family about us and the podcast. All of our information will be down in the episode notes for today's show. And I think that's it.
I think so.
You're good?
I'm good.
All right, guys. Everybody stay well out there. Stay healthy. And we will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one.